It began with a whisper in the intelligence channels, a fragment of intercepted communication, a convoy sighted moving at night, satellite images showing unusual activity deep behind Russian lines. Something was happening in a remote forested area of occupied territory, far from the usual flashpoints of the front. At first, Ukrainian intelligence analysts thought it was another temporary logistics hub. But as they pieced together the data, a different picture emerged. This was no ordinary outpost. It was a secret Russian base, concealed under dense tree cover, housing advanced equipment, special operatives, and serving as a nerve center for deep strike operations. What the Russians didn't know was that their hidden sanctuary had already been marked. And in one of the most audacious operations of the war, U.S. Special Forces working alongside Ukrainian units would descend upon it, crush it completely, and turn it into one of Ukraine's wildest and most unexpected victories. The base was designed to be invisible. It was located in a remote woodland area, with natural camouflage shielding it from aerial reconnaissance. Underground bunkers had been dug into the earth, vehicles were parked beneath camouflage nets, and electronic emissions were minimized to avoid detection. It was reportedly used to coordinate drone strikes, sabotage missions, and electronic warfare operations. High-ranking Russian officers frequently visited, believing it to be beyond the reach of Ukrainian artillery and surveillance. For months, it had operated without interference, striking Ukrainian logistics hubs and gathering intelligence on troop movements. It was a quiet but dangerous thorn in Ukraine's side. The breakthrough came when Ukrainian signals intelligence intercepted unusual encrypted transmissions emanating from the area. Their content couldn't be deciphered immediately, but their regularity and strength suggested the presence of a major command center. Satellite imagery confirmed freshly disturbed Earth patterns, indicating underground facilities. Small drone flights over the area at high altitude detected faint heat signatures at night. Slowly, the puzzle pieces fit together. Ukraine shared the intelligence with its Western allies and U.S. Special Forces, who had been training and advising Ukrainian units for months, offered to help plan a strike unlike any attempted before. The operation required precision and secrecy. A direct artillery or missile strike risked missing underground facilities or destroying valuable intelligence. A frontal assault would alert the defenders. Instead, planners decided on a hybrid approach: infiltration, targeted strikes, and controlled demolition. The goal was not just to destroy the base, but to capture critical intelligence, neutralize key personnel, and do it so fast that the Russians wouldn't have time to respond. Only a handful of people knew the details in advance. Even among Ukrainian units, the exact target was kept secret until the final hours. Under the cover of darkness, a mixed team of Ukrainian Special Forces and U.S. operatives infiltrated the area. They moved on foot through dense forest, using night vision and suppressors to eliminate scattered sentries without raising alarms. Surveillance drones hovered high overhead, mapping out enemy positions and providing a live feed to command. At precisely 3 a.m., the first phase began. Small explosive charges were placed on communication towers and vehicle depots. Within seconds, the charges detonated simultaneously, plunging the base into confusion and cutting off external communications. Lights flickered, sirens wailed, and Russian soldiers scrambled to respond, unaware that attackers were already inside the perimeter. As panic spread, the second phase of the assault unfolded. Ukrainian and U.S. operators struck key buildings with suppressed rifles and grenades, clearing rooms with brutal efficiency. Body camera footage later leaked showed teams moving in complete silence, using hand signals and pre-planned routes. They bypassed areas that were not critical, focusing instead on command centers, drone control rooms, and electronic warfare facilities. In less than 5 minutes, they seized the main command bunker, capturing officers who had been coordinating drone attacks on Ukrainian cities. Laptops, hard drives, encrypted radios, and documents were confiscated and handed to cyber specialists for immediate analysis. Above ground, Ukrainian artillery and HIMARS launchers unleashed a sudden, concentrated barrage on the outer defensive ring. Pre-sighted coordinates ensured that artillery rounds landed exactly where they needed to: vehicle bays, storage bunkers, and barracks. The defenders were trapped between the chaos inside the base and the incoming fire from outside. Any vehicles attempting to flee down the forest roads were intercepted by attack drones that had been silently loitering nearby. One after another, convoys were destroyed as they tried to escape the encirclement. The third phase of the operation was total destruction. Once critical intelligence had been secured and enemy command incapacitated, demolition teams moved in. They placed shaped charges in underground tunnels and bunkers, rigging the entire complex for a controlled detonation. Meanwhile, attack helicopters operating just outside the base's air defense perimeter swooped in to hit any remaining resistance points. In the confusion, Russian reinforcements were unable to mount a coherent response. By the time they realized the magnitude of the assault, the attackers were already exfiltrating. At exactly 3:42 a.m., the charges detonated. A series of massive explosions ripped through the underground structures, sending fireballs and debris shooting into the night sky. The ground shook as bunkers collapsed in on themselves. Surveillance footage showed a once-hidden base transformed into a cratered wasteland in less than a minute. Flames consumed vehicles and supply depots, while secondary explosions from ammunition stores lit up the forest like a massive inferno. In under an hour, what had been one of Russia's most secretive and secure facilities was obliterated. Russian commanders were blindsided. This base had been considered untouchable, too deep behind the lines for conventional strikes. They scrambled to piece together what had happened, but by then, the special operations team was already on its way out, moving through extraction routes covered by Ukrainian artillery. Not a single helicopter or aircraft had been detected approaching, no warning had been issued, and no reinforcements had arrived in time. It was a surgical strike, fast, precise, and devastating. The aftermath was extraordinary. Captured intelligence from the base revealed detailed plans for future Russian drone strikes, electronic warfare schematics, and operational maps of key sectors of the front. Western analysts pored over the material, uncovering insights that would shape Ukrainian defenses for months. Dozens of Russian officers and operatives were killed or captured. Among the dead were senior figures tied to sabotage missions inside Ukraine. The loss of personnel, equipment, and intelligence dealt a severe blow to Russian operational capabilities in the region. For Ukraine, this was more than a tactical win. It was a statement. They had not only penetrated deep into enemy-held territory, but had done so with such precision that the enemy's most secret base was dismantled in less than an hour. The involvement of U.S. Special Forces, though officially unacknowledged, demonstrated the deep cooperation between Kyiv and Washington behind the scenes. It also showcased how Western training, equipment, and planning could be fused with Ukrainian grit and local knowledge to produce devastating results. The psychological effect on Russian troops and leadership was immediate. If such a hidden, fortified base could be found and annihilated, what else was vulnerable? Commanders began relocating key assets further from the front, dispersing their operations, and tightening security protocols. But the damage was done. The base's destruction disrupted drone strike coordination for weeks, reduced electronic warfare effectiveness, and forced the Russians to divert resources toward rebuilding lost infrastructure. The footage released afterward was unlike anything seen before in the conflict. Thermal drone videos captured the base erupting in waves of explosions. Body camera clips showed the precision and speed of the special operations assault. Satellite images revealed a dark patch of scorched earth where the base had once been. Analysts worldwide dissected the operation as a textbook example of special forces working in tandem with local allies to dismantle a strategic target with minimal casualties and maximum effect. This operation also sent a clear message. No matter how well hidden or fortified, no target is beyond reach. It showed that modern warfare is not only fought with tanks and artillery, but also with intelligence, timing, and elite precision. Russia's secret base had been a symbol of strategic depth and security. In less than an hour, that symbol was shattered. The strike demonstrated how coordinated, multinational special operations can rewrite the rules of engagement, turning the enemy's perceived sanctuary into a trap of their own making.